Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Rick. I'm going to start a painting with the palette knife today. I'm going to use a palette knife to sketch the idea up here. All from my head, I don't have any clue what I want to do. So I mixed some burnt umber with some black in it. If I get this done quick enough, I'll throw some blue, yellow, and red down here and we can start painting it. But I just wanted to show you how cool it is to design with your knife. You get a different sense of feel instead of using like a sketching it up there. Let's put a horizon down here. It's a little lower than half, so I don't have to deal with a lot of landscape down there. I'm going to put some mountains across the back here. So get the feel of your knife. Just put in some peaks back here. This is a 16 by 20, so I laid the canvas down sideways so I could get some more horizontal length out of the picture, and maybe I can put some cool things in here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just put some peaks back there. And the good thing about using a knife, now we could put some shading in here if we want, just to see, what side your light's going to be on and your shadows. Just like that. We can bring some hills down in here like this. Just like that. There we go. We got some cool mountains up there already. Alright, let's see how that's showing up in the camera. Alright, looks pretty good. So, I'm just doing something simple to show you so you don't think it's too hard. Now, right off the bat, this will help your eye see things. I'm seeing the way these mountains are kind of leaning a little bit to the right here, so let's extend this land out here like this. And let's work on this section here. I'm thinking this land could like jet out here and slowly bring it back this way. And this could be all water over here if we wanted. So let's do this. Just wiggle your knife and see, make some cool things down here. And there. I'm thinking this could be water over here. So let's put some land. Let's put a straight line across here. And then we'll say that'll be, this could be water in here. And we can put a little bit of land over here now. Let's put a little hill down here. And we'll kind of do the same thing over on this side. Just a little bit of land over here. Just like that. We'll have a couple hills in here. Maybe we'll put some trees up over here. Coming off this hill over here. All right, this is looking pretty good. That's a good design right there. So this is all going to be flatlands over here. Let's do this now, because I never do this in my paintings. Let's put a little drop in here. Okay, so the water will be down a little lower. Just pull with your knife right there. Grab a little more for over here. We'll just pull down just a little. And what we're doing is creating a lower section where the water will be down here now instead of up here. Okay, you see that? We can do that over here as well. That's what's cool about a knife. You'll see things a little differently than if you're just painting or sketching in. And if you go back and check out all my videos, you'll see that I've never done this before. Lowered the land down. We'll have the water more down in here. Okay. Look at that. It's pretty fun too. If you haven't tried sketching with a knife, and I'm not going to put any, I usually won't put my trees in right now because you don't have to, because you know you're going to, I don't have to put bushes in. I'm just doing the land right now because when I start painting this, I'll probably throw some bushes here and then run a few trees off of it. So I just did this to show you, well, if you want to like kind of make this impressionism, you just throw things up there that look like trees if you want. And if you wanted to, you could put clouds up there too by just, you know, scratching up there. So this right here, I'm not sure what this is. I want to correct this here. Oh, well, we could probably have a tree line. We could have a tree line back here. So I'll put that in, but you don't have to. You just got to remember to put a row of trees back there when you do your water. This is all going to be water in here. Look at that. There's the sketch right there. I really like that. Now we could design some more stuff over here. Like this is going to be a hill, but we got to have a bottom of it. So let's grab a little color. Let's bring this a little more to the left and this a little more to the left and this one. And maybe we'll create, we can make some more ledges in here if we want. I'll just end up making those like hills there. That looks good. This will be flat in here. Flat, flat, flat. This is all flat here. Look at that. There we go, people. I mean, let me see how long this took. Maybe I could start painting it right now. straight on there for you. So I just sketched that with the knife. It took, well, it says 10 minutes, but I think I talked for quite a bit. So once you get your sketch up there with the knife, then you can start painting it. It looks pretty good. Yeah, I really like that. I like how I dropped the water down lower uh, right here with these ledges, because I've never done that before. Looks pretty wicked, actually. It shows the erosion of the river in there pretty good. So if I decide to paint this, obviously here I'll put a few bushes with some trees here. If we want to keep this really small, I'll just put small trees out here. Maybe we can run like a big tree down here up into the scene for to have something in the foreground, or we can leave this a far away landscape. We could make it a sunset. We could make it a gray sky, blue sky. I'm going to go ahead and paint it because I already went to work and I'm going to go ahead and paint it. So I'm going to drop some color on my palette. I already have burnt umber here. So what we're going to do, we're going to mix our own colors. I'm going to use phthalo, cyan, and blue. I'm going to mix everything on the palette. So I'm going to put a little blue here, okay? This is the fun part, mixing your own colors. So make sure you get a color wheel. You can see I've used mine quite a bit. So your primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. You can make any color out of those three colors, okay? But you also need black and white. So now I got the blue down. I'm just going to put a little yellow here because we're going to need green. And when you put your red on there, you could use different kinds of red. Like you could use the magenta red. You could use just cad red. I like using the Algerian crimson. This stuff really makes the when you mix this with the yellow, it almost looks like fire, Let's just use that red instead of bright red. It'll give the painting a different look. So I'm going to use, I just bought this today. It's a titanium white Liquitex, heavy bodied. This white is pretty good, okay? Acrylic white. I'm going to put some on my palette. And I have Liquitex black, Mars black, if I can find it. So this is Liquitex Mars black, okay? That's what I mixed into the burnt umber. And we'll just put a little black here because we'll have to mix some shadows and grays and stuff like that. Let's get started. I'm going to clean my knife off. I just bought this knife, so look at that. See how shiny that is? Brand new. There's not even paint on the handle yet. You know what happens when you paint? You get paint all over your hand, and then you go to grab the handle, and then it gets all over the handle. But here's the painting I did yesterday. This is a demonstration. I got this on the community page, and I think I'm going to do a video of how to do this. I just haven't perfected it yet, but I used the knife. Everything black in here, I used the knife, and then I put a wash in different colors. This is light blue. This was a mixture of blue and yellow, and got the green down here, but it's a different style. It's more like commercial art, okay? But some people like that style. It's just to do something different. It looks more like a cartoon, or looks like something you'd see in a comic book or something, you know. But this, I'm going to make it look real. I'm going to make this look like an oil painting. So let's get started. I know I lose a lot of people in the first couple of minutes because I don't do any painting. I do too much talking. I found out that this knife really works good for mixing on a small pallet. That other knife, this knife, you really got to pull it, and it makes a mess. See, it makes it too big of a pile. This one's better for mixing. You can mix in a tighter spot. So first I'm going to mix some light blue for my sky up here, and I'm going to put it down here because I know I'm going to use probably a lot of it. So I'm going to put some white over here, and then grab, this is all phthalo blue, and let's just mix that down and get a bluish color for the sky. There's a lot of good, easy, a lot of ways to do the sky. That seems a lot pretty dark to me. So I'm just going to take half of that blue and lighten it up a little more. And I think I'll use that for the sky. Let's do a blue sky. Now, if you want to add a little red to that, you can. I think you'll end up getting like a purplish color. And it might dull it down a bit. So I don't have an underpaint today, so we got to put this on pretty thick. So I'm going to use a large filbert brush, number 12, for my sky. I'm just going to wet my brush just a little with water, and let's see how dark this looks. It's pretty dark still, so I might grab a little white as I grab it to make it lighter. Just grab a little white. I like that tone better than that. Okay, that looks a lot better. Try and, if you don't have an underpaint, go ahead and put this on pretty heavy so you cover all the white up. So you don't get any white spots showing through. Nice blue sky. I'll add some gray in there later on. But let's just get a sky up there. And then you see how there was a blue streak in there? You could take some darker blue later on and just lay some streaks in there like that. It'll make it look like dark clouds, okay? Acrylic paint's pretty fun. You just got to learn. You got to learn all the little tricks. And the more you paint, the more you'll figure all this stuff out, you know. But the point we're at right now, most of the time I don't even sketch this in. I'm glad I did, because I wouldn't have figured this part out here with this ledges now. So it's good. It's good to sketch your idea in first. It's also good to paint just on the fly, design as you go. But what's good about this, we got the design is already done. It's already done. We know all we got to do now is paint it. So there's some advantages to using a palette knife to sketch this out. And like I said, like I showed you that other painting, that's another idea. You could use the same style and just use a wash on this and create a different type of painting. So what I'm going to do is probably do the city of Seattle like that one I showed you, have the city of Seattle in black, and then have water down here, and yeah, should look pretty good. All right, so there's the sky. Oops, still wet there. Let's have a dark cloud there. All right, so let's we'll let the sky set like that for a while. I'm gonna grab a soft filbert brush now for the mountains, a number 8 filbert. I don't know why I like the filbert brushes. I don't use the flat brush at all. I really don't know what they're good for, the flat brush. Maybe if you're painting vertical like this. But the what I like about the filbert brush, you can turn it, you know, and get into tight spots there, see? And you can use it this way or this way, so. But use any brush you're comfortable with. So I got a lot of blue here now. I'm going to mix whatever white I got left here with a little black. We're going to do the mountains now. It's okay if there's some blue in there. It'll turn the gray into like a grayish blue. which is okay for the mountains. Let's put a little more black in it. I just want it to be a dark gray on the mountains. And we'll put a little more blue. Just grab a little blue. So it's like a bluish gray. Okay. I'm going to put the palette down. It's getting heavy. But I'm just going to be using that gray right now. So I'm just going to go right over the palette knife work, okay? Because I know what I'm going to do with the mountains. There's another style that I do where you leave all your knife work in there and you just paint around it like that, but that's a different painting. This one just cover over all the dark work. These mountains are going to be kind of drawing to the right. I'm putting it on pretty heavy because I don't have an underpaint. And I don't want any of that white to show through. I'm not using any water at all because I want this thick. I want that gray pretty heavy. All right, now I'm gonna grab a little bit of my blue, believe it or not, from the sky, and I'm gonna lighten up the bottom, just the bottom part of the mountain with this blue. Just mix it in to the bottom of the gray and then pull it down to the horizon line there, or the water line. Just like that. Look at that. Man, it's looking good already. I want the water to be kind of grayish. So what we're going to do, this will be easy. Just the gray we just used on the mountains and a little bit of the blue. We're just going to mix those up in equal parts. And that's going to be the color of the water, okay? Let's start down here first, near the front. And just leave your brown work in there on the edge, okay? Come up right next to the brown and pull to the right. We want to keep that kind of cool edge in there, okay? And then you can just fill this in with that color. I'm not going to try and use any water because I want this to be thick. I want the paint to be heavy so it doesn't look so watered down. Same thing over here. Leave your brown, leave the brown color in if you can. So we don't cover up the knife work, so we can see where the clips are going to be, and then fill this in. It's looking pretty good. This is a really easy painting. The hardest part will be if you've never used a knife to sketch it out. That's going to be the hardest part. But this, what I'm doing right now, is pretty simple, okay? The whole point of sketching with your knife, that it's going to make it your own style, okay? Because you're going to sketch it just a little different than I do, and it's going to be your own painting, you know? And it's not going to look like mine, but because your colors will be different. All right, so I'm going to leave my brown work in there. I'm just coming up to it. See? And then filling this in. I want to make this lighter back there, but I have to put some color down first so I can mix it. So I'm going to mix a little white in the back. All you got to do is rinse your brush off. And just grab a little titanium white, not too much, and just go across the bottom, way back there. You might have to do it a couple times. We want that, I want the distance to be very white back here. We'll let that set, and I'll put another, some more white on there. It helps it look further back, okay? You probably hear me say that every painting, but I never know who's watching. I get a lot of new viewers. Okay, let's move on to the land work now. It's looking pretty good. Let me see where I am on time. 35 minutes, not bad for Hey Angelina, how you doing? I'm glad I got someone on there watching. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna mix some cool green. Uh, I'll show you what I did yesterday. It's kind of cool. I might not use it here, but take a little bit of this burnt umber, little burnt umber, and then a little bit of yellow. And watch this, what color you get. You see that? It's like a yellow green. I'm going to use that for the distance. This section maybe up here. And I'll make this like a yellow ochre back there. So I'll use that green. I'm going to do each section differently. So I'll use this light green back here on this hill. I made that with brown, believe it or not. Yellow and brown. Isn't that cool? I want this to be lighter back there. So add a little white. Just put a little titanium white when you do a hill like this. And just add a little white up there on the top. It's just like that. It's going to make the hill look a little further back. I'm going to mix some white in there now. I'm going to take a little bit of that green and just put some white in it and use it back here on this little peninsula in the back here. Just so it looks lighter. It's further away. So this next section I want to make a little darker. So what we're going to do here is just rinse the brush off. And then I'll use this color over here because it's about the same distance. So take a little more brown and just add it into the green. Just a little bit. And let's use it down here on the next section. And then where the two come together, just blend it together. So we get a nice transition, okay? Now we're going to add a little more dark in here, okay? Just get a little more brown, add it into that last green. We're going to get darker as we come down, okay? A little darker. and then blend those two together right there. All right, look at that. Wow. Doesn't that look like an oil painting? Doesn't that look cool? I'm not really working the paint too much. I'm just putting it up there. So it looks kind of loose, okay? Very good. You can put any color here because I'm going to have bushes right here with some trees. So, all right, there. So down here, I'm going to make like a beach color. So what I want to do is I want to try and make yellow ochre. So I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, and a little brown, just a little. And then a little red, I think. A little red. A little more brown. A little more yellow. There we go. There's some yellow ochre. Yellow ochre. I'm hoping. Put that down here. There we go. Maybe it'll look like a sandy beach down there. All right, guys. There, all the underpaint is done, except for these cliffs. Let's see what it looks like now in the frame. Not bad. I wonder what all this magical stuff is over here. Like you can make it glow. Let's try bubbles. Oh, are you guys seeing those bubbles? It's like a fantasy land, huh? Look at those bubbles. Let's try a dance. Wow, okay, we got a disco dance going on. I'm trying to keep you guys 8mm. Wow, old school. All right, I kind of like the bubbles one. I think it's time to put the snow on the mountains, okay? Let's do that. Oh yeah, switch to acrylic. That's all I used to use was oil. Chloe, I painted a whole year on YouTube with oil paint, but nobody wanted to learn. So once I switched to acrylic, then I started getting more subscribers. I'm trying to, no, I'm not working from any reference. This is from my head. Uh, every painting I do is from my head. But oil paint, there's a lot more you can do with oil, but you can also learn all the tricks with acrylic too to make it look like oil. It just takes time, because when you first start out with acrylic, it might look like a cartoon, but eventually the way you mix your colors, you'll get it to look like oil. It depends what you want, you know. If you use that acrylic paint like the neon paint, yeah, it's going to look more like a comic book. But if you use a better quality acrylic paint, then you could make it look more like a landscape looks. But it all depends what you're going for. I'm trying to make it look, this one, I'm trying to make it look more like nature. So I do have some that I do that are just fantasy pieces, so you could use any color you want. But let's do some, I'm going to do some snow on the mountains right now. There's the bubbles. Alright guys, let me do the, I'm going to use a knife to put up the, some snow up here. I'm going to use my brand new knife. Look at that. I just bought it today. So I'm going to use white. The way I do it, if you're new to this, just start on the right side of each peak. And if you're a new artist or new landscape, just start on the right side and do it. Just pull it down really slow and just do a little bit, okay? And just put a little roll. Put the smallest roll on your blade, and just to get a little bit on your top peaks, just like that, just a little, just to get started. And then I'll design the peak here in a second. But if you just do a little at first, and then you can take a look at it and see which mountain you want in the front. You can already see it's starting to take shape. This one's going to be bigger in the front here. So then you can start doing this with your knife. Bringing more color down like this. And design this mountain right there. These might have less snow on them, so you can maybe just bring a little bit down on these, like that. These look like they're further away now. You could bring this, you can draw this one in front of those, like this, to make those two look further back. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. Very good. Now I'm going to mix some blue and white for the shadow sides, okay? You just take a little bit of the blue from the sky and a little bit of white. I like it to be light, a light blue. And you could put a little gray in it to dull it up a little bit, because it's going to be in the shadow. You can even put a little black in it if you wanted, because we're working with the shadow now, the shady side of the mountain. But gray is fine. Now this side you don't have to be as careful. This is where you can design cliffs in here now. I just usually pull it. I go up next to the white in here and just pull a little bit to the left. Everywhere I have white right next to it, I'll pull a little bit of this color down. Sometimes you got to use, there's a smaller part of the knife. You can use the smaller edge to get into these tight areas. But even though the white's down here, you still put a little shade underneath it. It'll look like a cliff. They take a little practice, because when you first start out, you're going to want to pull the snow straight down. A good way to remember this is to follow the angle of each peak. Don't make your peaks so pointy, okay? Because it's harder to put the snow on there. Start off with some mountains that aren't so tall until you get used to it. I mean, I know how to do pointy mountains, but you have to run the snow down, and then you got to come horizontal pretty quick. All right, I'm just going to put some paint over here. There we go. All right, so that looks good to me. These are far away, so you can leave the ones that are far away, you can leave them gray, okay? What do you think of that? Don't those look like oil? Don't those look like oil paint now? It doesn't look like a cartoon. To me, it looks real. Oh, you got golden. Okay, yeah, golden is good. Golden is the other. I use that brand. I use Liquitex. I use Utrex. But golden's good. It'll look just like that. Have you ever heard of Utrex? It's pretty good acrylic paint. But I do have golden. Golden is pretty similar to this Liquitex. So there's the now you can do the mountains. You can put more work in your mountains if you want. Like, you know how shadows work, right? When the sun hits here, usually it's really dark at first, where the light and the shadow meet right in here. So you can actually edge all the edges with a darker color to make your mountain look a little more like it has more dimension. or you can leave it just like that. Like put some dark right up in these areas next to the white. Like maybe right in here. See how this could be dark. Not too dark. Just a darker blue. And it'll increase the mountain and give it more 3D look. But I like that. That looks good. Sometimes I'll put a wash down here when it dries. So that's something you got to learn with acrylic paint. Like if it was oil, we could blend this till you get it to look blurry and it'll look like snow down there or mist. But you could do it with acrylic. With acrylic, you take a wet brush and you grab a little white. And if you work with watercolor already, you just get the paint to run like water and just put a little bit of white at the bottom of the mountain like this. You can make it look like mist. Okay, just like that. A little white wash. All right, let's move on to some clouds. Let's do some clouds. I want to get rid of this gray though. On. All right. I'm not sure what kind of clouds I want to do. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I kind of see a cloud here already that I kind of like just like right over the mountain there. Just like that. There's a lot of different ways to do a cloud. I'm trying to think. I think for this one, I'm just going to put streaks up there. So I'm going to clean my brush. And what I'm going to do is just put a little white on there. And I think I'm just going to streak it. Put some streaks in here. And then keep blending it down. Just like that. It's an easy way to make clouds. Get some more white and we'll do the same thing over here. Some streaks. And then in a little bit we'll take some gray and put some shadows underneath. Look at that. What do you think of those clouds? Really easy, huh? You could take your brush and really fix the edges of them if you want, like this. Make them look like they're blowing at the ends. Just like that. We'll let this dry, and I'll put some gray. Uh, we'll put some gray shadows underneath. Like, see, you can see a little bit of blue there. But let's let it dry and see what it looks like. I kind of like that already. I don't like this smudge right there, so that's when I pulled the brown over, remember? If you were watching. All right, there's some easy clouds. You just got to get a filbert brush and streak it like that. And then I'll kind of show you right now. I'll get a little bit, you know the gray I used on the mountains? I'm going to put a little bit of that on my brush. Let's put a little gray at the bottom of this cloud here. Just a little. Just like that. Maybe one here. Then we'll put one underneath this one here. Just a little gray. And under here. You don't need much. It's going to make it look like a shadow underneath the cloud, okay? Now you could put different colors in here if you want. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to some trees over here. I'm going to make some bushes down here first with a number 6 round brush. And maybe I'll use we'll make some brown bushes. We'll just use the burnt umber I used when I first sketched this. Let's just touch in some dark color on the back of this land here. Just touch in some color, and then take your brush at the bottom and pull it to the right. Make it taller over here. Just pull the bottom to the right. Some bushes. Now I'm going to run some trees off there. I'm trying to think of what kind of trees to do there. Let's just run I'm going to run up a tree trunk real quick. It's just a mixture of black and that brown I made. So this is almost like detail work now, so you got to get the paint to run a little bit like ink. We'll put a kind of a cool tree in here. I'm going to kind of wiggle it a little. There we go. That looks kind of cool, huh? I like that. It's so small, you probably have to get a liner brush now to put the other branches on. Yeah, the rest of the branches will have to be with a liner brush. Let's just put pull up on these bushes so it looks like more like grass, I guess. There we go. That looks cool. All right, guys, let me see where I'm at. I might end this one here. Yeah, it's been over an hour. But, I mean, there's a lot more I'm going to do to it, but that's a good start. A really good start. I like the bubbles, man. It's like a dreamy landscape there. Well, this is supposed to be dreamy here. There we go. Dreamy. All right, guys, there we go. Some dancing. Dancing in the street. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll probably finish this one up, and I don't think I'll do a part 2, but I'll finish it and put it on my community page. You know how to go to the community page. Just go to my channel and hit the community, and you'll see all the finished paintings I do. I put them on the community page. All right, guys. See you, Glowy Chloe. We'll see you on the next painting. Cheers.